The background video, it's a my career game, some random fourth quarter that I had against the Hawks leading up into the playoffs. It really doesn't matter right now. I want to talk about what happened yesterday at the NBA draft. Primarily about the Knicks and their choices because, you know, I am a Knicks fan, or at least I try to be. They make it pretty hard. I will say that. So, I had tweeted yesterday that I woke up late. I didn't see the NBA draft from the start. I had to catch a recap, but I woke up late, like halfway through the lottery picks, and I saw a notification on my phone from ESPN saying that the Knicks have drafted a man named Kristaps Porzingis with the 4th pick in the NBA draft. And I thought it was a sick, cruel, disgusting joke by ESPN. Just to really grind it in to just mess with Knicks fans just for whatever reason, whatever ill intent they had. But then I found out through a series of app replies and checking the internet and TV, that wasn't a joke. That really happened. The Knicks drafted Kristaps Porzingis. Now, I'm gonna try to keep my cool. This is this isn't good news. This is very disappointing. This is very upsetting, frustrating. But I got the worst of it out yesterday. So, when I first heard about this Kristaps guy, maybe about a week and a half ago, I remember saying that I hope this isn't a situation where other teams are trying to build up the hype around this guy like a Mayweather fight, like trying to, build up the opponent, make it sound like it's going to be good, so that way they trick you into buying the pay-per-view, and then you realize it's just like all the other ones. Like, no. I said, I felt like it was going to be a situation where all these teams were going to hype up this guy, so that way some stupid team would waste an early round draft pick on him. Little did I know. Well, I kind of expected it because, I've seen how the Knicks have drafted over the years. But little did I know, I want to believe. I didn't want to believe that this was going to happen. But it happened. It really happened. They drafted this guy 4th overall. And we knew that we weren't going to get Karl-Anthony Towns or Jahlil Okafor or D'Angelo Russell. Maybe if Philly was stupid enough to fall for him. But Philly couldn't go wrong. They had to draft one of those 3 guys. So the tough part comes is who you want to get between 4 and 60. And the Knicks had options like Willie Cauley-Stein. They had options like Frank Kaminsky, Justice Winslow, Miles. They had options like even that Moutier guy, which I wasn't the biggest fan of either. But they choose a guy who basically came into the world a week and a half ago. Now you can say that other people may have heard of him. You might say he's nice because you've seen a highlight video which is, full of his best moments, his highlights. It wasn't like people were sitting around watching him in the Spanish League for the last year or so, every single game, giving him the real eyeball test. We saw highlight videos of him, his greatest moments, and him inside of a gym against a trainer where the trainer's not playing any defense because they just want to see his versatility, his range. We saw all his made jump shots. We didn't see all his missed ones. So we see him make 3 threes, whatever, at different times, wearing different jerseys. And that means all of a sudden he's the second coming of Dirk Nowitzki. You know how many other second comings of Dirk Nowitzki we've seen? The most recent Dirk Nowitzki clone, we traded him to the Denver Nuggets. The most recent Dirk Nowitzki clone before that guy, he's on the Knicks right now. Andrea Bargnani, we got tricked into taking him from that evil, sadistic mastermind of a GM, Masai, you know the guy from Toronto. But we got tricked into taking him, and now we got tricked into drafting this guy. Are you kidding me? Did we really do this? Did we fall for this? If Phil Jackson, the Zen Master, the Knicks president, whatever else he is to the Knicks, unofficial GM, if his goal was to prepare us for this season by having a horrible season, trading away all of our best assets, freeing up cap space, everything he's done was with the intent of ill will to sabotage the New York Knicks. We lost Tyson Chandler and a whole bunch of other players so we can get Samuel Dallenberg, who's not even in the league anymore, and we can get Jose Calderon, who's up there in age and plays no defense and had to be hidden when he was on the Mavericks. We We traded away players so that way we can get Klay Anthony early in the second round, because we didn't have a draft pick at all, even though we played so horribly. But we traded so we can get a draft pick for Klay Anthony early, who's in the D-League right now. Look what happened to Tim Hardaway. It got so bad, Carmelo Anthony faked like he thought he may get an injury on the bench so he wouldn't even have to watch the games. This all happened under Phil Jackson's stewardship. I can't make this up if I tried. But no, let's take it like a little step further. We got rid of J.R. Smith. We got rid of Amon Shumpert, one of the few draft picks we actually do hold on to after trading away other people like Trevor Ariza and David Lee and Timothy Mozgov, who are all, who those guys are in the finals. One of them is a champion. Like, we trade away all the good players, and we keep who? We keep building through free agency with players like Samuel Dalembert. Are you kidding me? But now, no, I'm not done. Let's get into it. So Carmelo Anthony, they gave him a huge contract, just $15 million short of the maximum they could have given him at that time, where he'll be making almost pretty much, let's round it up, $23 million this season. And they freed up all that space, that financial space, the only thing Phil Jackson can really give himself credit for, so that way we can bring in some talent so we can win now. But instead we take a project, a guy who may or may not work out 3 years down the line when Carmelo Anthony is 34 years old. Let's just let that sink in. 34 and making about $27 million at the time. So, if we're expecting to get somebody like Greg Monroe, a starting power forward who really turned it on at the end of last season, if we're expecting to get him, what are we going to do with this 7'2" outside shooter? And now, people want to compare this guy to Dirk, right? Everybody wants to be, every foreign player that can shoot the ball is compared to Dirk when they come into the league, if they have a lighter complexion or whatever, right? Every last one of them. We're always looking for the next Dirk because Dirk changed everything. Have we found the next Dirk? No. Is this guy going to be the next Dirk? Odds are no, because he's 7'1" and he's only 220 pounds. Darren Williams is almost as heavy as this guy is, and if this guy puts on more weight, he won't be as fast. He already is the defensive liability. How many rebounds do you think he's going to, or how many second chances are we going to get with a 7'2" guy who's at the three-point line? For all we know, instead of the next Dirk, he may be the next Steve Novak at best. And we used our pick on this. And the thing is that when we tanked, we didn't even tank well. We gave just enough lottery balls so that way we can fall to fourth and lose out on a sure thing and give Minnesota the best chance of getting the number 1 overall pick, which they did. I can go on for hours, but this video has a time limit. So let's get into more of what I didn't like about what happened yesterday. Rather than having everybody call this guy the next Dirk instead of the next Darko, which is more accurate based off of any other than the jump shot, what are we really expecting from this guy? So we fell for this foreign hype for young players last year, and I said the same thing about Dante Exum. How good did he look last season? Was I looking like a fool? This guy got endorsements from 2K. He got endorsements from overseas, whatever. Just because he was a tall point guard, we expected that he was just going to be the next, Magic Johnson. He's not even the next Sean Livingston in his rookie season. This guy would normally play it inside of a regular season game, get heavy minutes, and then get 5 points, 0 rebounds, 0 assists, 0 steals, 0. It's almost like he wasn't even there. He was on they were playing 4-on-5 basketball. And they think that this guy, just because he's unknown, he's exotic sounding, we're thinking that he's going to be the next big thing. Really. And anybody who's been following me, who's been watching my videos like last year and the year before that, they know how I feel about the overhype of rookies. When was the last time we've seen a rookie really just push a team into the playoffs? Or, even LeBron didn't push his team into the playoffs. Every year after that, he became that guy where any team he's on going to the playoffs, and nowadays any team he's on going to the finals. But rookies don't have that big of an effect. It takes time. And some players have a much smaller learning curve. Some players are just NBA ready, and this guy doesn't fall into either one of them. He is going to get eaten up by the premier big men in the league. Like I said, if you combine the height, the weight, the defensive ability, like he's not going to be the focal point of an offense. So what are we really expecting from this guy that Phil Jackson decided to use our number 4 draft pick on? You can't build a team around this guy. Like, I don't even believe in the whole stretch 4 thing. Like, just think about the last time that a stretch 4 really has like won the or been the reason why a team has won the championship. We can say that Golden State Warriors, you can say Draymond Green could have been like a stretch player because he has an outside shot, but that's not his primary role. That wasn't he wasn't the third splash brother on that team. He'd take it from time to time, but that wasn't the way he operated his offense. You can go the last time before that, what, Chris Bosh, but he had LeBron James and Dwayne Wade. Chris Bosh is always going to be that third guy while they were together. So you can't really say that Chris Bosh was the reason why the team won. His outside shooting helped a lot. They're the reason why they got to the championship that year over Boston, when Boston had like 7 players only on their team that weren't injured. That was mainly because Chris Bosh came out like a gangbuster, just firing. But still, the credit would have to go to LeBron and Dwayne Wade because Chris Bosh didn't come back until like Game 7 anyway. Before that, we have Dirk. This guy isn't Dirk. Before that, you can maybe say the Pistons with Rasheed Wallace, although he had a strong post game. And before that was when? Never? Never, like really. The teams that were dominant were the Bulls, the Lakers, the Spurs, the Rockets, the Pistons. Like, really, when was the last time we seen a stretch 4 be the reason that a team, like, besides Dirk Nowitzki himself, who they're hoping this guy would be? When was the last time, if ever, that we've seen that? It just doesn't happen, and it's definitely not going to happen on this team with nothing to offer at all. I will touch on this Jerry and Grant guy that everybody was making a big deal about also. Jerry and Grant, he might be good, he might not be good. I feel like the whole situation was overblown. I'm happy that we got rid of Tim Hardaway because I don't really care for him. This is the same guy who got blocked so hard by Giannis that he faked an injury. Also, point guard is the deepest position in the league. Like, what happens when we have to go against Chris Paul and Stephen Curry or Russell Westbrook? Or I'm just gonna even just naming these guys. Or let's go to Eastern Conference. Let's say John Wall or Jeff Teague or Kyle Lowry. The list just goes on, and that might be a little too much for him to handle, especially in his rookie year. But one last thing I want to leave you guys with is that I think Philadelphia, they should be sent to the D-League. They are an absolute embarrassment. They will not be good next year. They won't be good the year after that. They should have drafted a point. Like, why did they draft 3 out of 4 of their draft picks being on big men? The last 2 years, they drafted 2 marquee big men in Nerlens Noel and Joel Embiid, and now they already drafted his replacement. So they have wasted their fans' time, money, energy. They don't deserve to have an NBA team. And Sam Hinkie, he should be fired and banned from the. He should have been banned before Donald Sterling. That's how bad he is to the sport of basketball. That's just my opinion. What do you guys think? How did your team draft? Are you excited for this season? I know I'm sure I'm not. So you know what to do. You gotta leave a comment. We have a little discussion, and then talk to you guys soon. Oh, and don't forget Twitter @Greco.